Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm David, and these are the 4 things you need to know about fall protection and scaffolding.
Number 1, at what height is fall protection required for workers while working on scaffolding?
According to OSHA, you'll follow OSHA 1926 subpart L, which means at 10 feet you're required to use fall protection while working on scaffolding. This may contradict the subpart M standard, which is 6 foot while working in construction industry.
The reason for the difference is that scaffolding generally comes in 10-foot heights, and so fall protection is required after the first set.
Number 2, what are the most common methods for achieving fall protection compliance in scaffolding?
So regardless of the fall hazard, you want to follow your hierarchy of control. Number 1 is eliminate the hazard. We can't do that because we've already established we're at least 10 feet tall working off scaffolding. And number 2 is to achieve passive fall protection. And that's without the use of a personal fall arrest system. That's the second most safe that you can be while working at heights. So you should strive to protect all edges with a guardrail system and use that as passive protection.
If it's determined it's not feasible to protect all edges of scaffolding, you're going to be required to use a PFAS, a personal fall arrest system. At this rate, you can either work in active fall restraint or fall arrest. What active fall restraint means is you will still be connected to your personal fall arrest system. However, your system that you're connected to is going to be too short to allow you to fall outside of the scaffolding. The fall arrest system, you're going to be in the same exact type of a system. However, the components of the system, such as your self-retracting lifeline or a lanyard, is going to be long enough that you can fall off of an edge. When working on a scaffolding, it can be difficult to find an anchorage solution while working at heights. The first thing you're going to want to look at is the nearby building or structure. Maybe you can tie off to that structure itself. A lot of times you might resort to tying off to the scaffolding itself, using a tie-back lanyard or something along those lines and wrapping it around the top or mid-rail of the scaffolding. However, if you're attaching to the scaffolding itself, you're going to consult the scaffolding manufacturer to determine it's capable of supporting the forces of a fall. Number 3, trades with special considerations.
The first one is masonry. So masonry scaffolding is made up of a few components. We've got uprights, outriggers, cross bases, base plates. They do not have mud sills, planks, or railings provided, and so that's left up to the company erecting the scaffolding or whoever is in control of making sure that scaffolding goes up. So they use some 2x4s, wire them to the uprights, and oftentimes are leaving a gap to perform their work that could also be a fall hazard. And so there are special considerations for masonry because a lot of times you're working with 3-sided protection, but not that face. And so they can either have an agreement that the next row up on the block is going to be enough to provide adequate fall protection. They can work in active fall restraint with a horizontal lifeline behind them and a lanyard that prevents them from falling, or come up with an overhead anchorage system that still allows them to do their work.
The next trade is going to be window washers. Each employee on a single point or 2-point adjustable suspension system shall be protected by both a personal fall arrest system and a guardrail system. When attached to a window washing system, you're going to have the scaffolding and the personal fall arrest system suspended by different anchorage points in case of an emergency.
Number 4, what documentation is required when using fall protection with scaffolding?
Just like any other job site, you're going to have a fall protection plan and a rescue plan when working at heights.
You want to be specific about the hazards, and the hazards are scaffolding. So you want to make sure that you mention the scaffolding and include everything that's pertinent about your fall protection plan and your rescue plan as it applies. But other than that, if you're following a standard fall protection plan, it still applies here because you are considering your hazard, which is scaffolding.